Hi everyone. In the previous lecture, we were looking at different feedback configurations and we analyzed and saw what happens to the input and output impedances in the different feedback topologies. In this lecture, I'll continue that in the first half. Uh, we will just briefly revisit what happened in case of current amplifiers. There was a little bit of confusion there, so I wanted to clarify it now. And after that, we will focus mainly on the naming conventions for feedback amplifiers. So shown here is a current input, current output feedback amplifier. And we said in case of a current input, current output amplifier, the feedback network is connected, normally it's connected in such a way such that it can sense all the current. So I'm just going to use this word called sense and return. A feedback network, what it does is it senses the output and returns that output quantity to the input, a part of the output quantity back to the input. So we will see in the later half of the lecture that the whole of naming convention is centered around this act of sense and return. So here this feedback network is sensing a current and returning it back as a current at the input. So what I showed in the previous lectures is that generally the feedback network should be connected, especially if you're sensing the current, it should sense or sample the whole of the current, the whole of the output current. So normally it's connected in series with your load resistance. RL, your feedback network will be connected in series with your load resistance. So now if we don't want this feedback network to have any impact on the current being delivered to RL, what should be the ideal input impedance? Now look at this here. You have this current AI times IN. Now this sees two parts to split. It can go through R out and the other part of it goes through RL. Now, if I don't want this feedback network to interfere with that current splitting, what should be the impedance of this current offered by this feedback network? It should be zero because when you add that with the load resistance, that should have no impact. Okay, that should have no impact. So if you add RL plus I'm going to call this RX. RX is the input impedance of the feedback network at the output port. So if Rx is 0, then it will have no impact. So even yeah, the feedback network will have no impact on the current that's being split. So that's why I said when we were discussing the feedback amplifiers, especially the feedback mechanisms, we said we connect the feedback network in series with a load, especially if the output is a current output. So, and we discussed how to find the output impedance in this case. I have already derived it in the previous class. I'll just take a minute to just revisit it once, and then we will go back to the naming conventions. So we are supposed to find out the output resistance at this node as seen at the output node. So to do that, we said instead of the load resistance, that's your output two-terminal element to which you're delivering some power. Okay, I'm going to replace that with a current source Ix and then monitor what is this node voltage Vx developed at this point. Okay, that will be the same as the node voltage, the voltage developed across the current source. So since here for an ideal feedback network, the impedance Rx is 0, looking here, even if there is a finite Ix flowing through that, this node will be at AC ground because your impedance is 0. So I can assume that that node will be at AC ground. So Vx will also happen to be the voltage across the current source. If the feedback network is ideal, it will be exactly the same as the voltage across the current source. So all I need to do is to just find out, I'm going to inject a current Ix here and find out the node voltage Vx developed across the current source or at this node itself. And we discussed, since I'm making Is the source current 0, your feedback current, your source current is given by If plus In, the input current going into the amplifier. Since Is is 0, you can say In, the input current will be minus of If. And If, your feedback current, is generally given by beta times I out. If you recall, our polarity for I out was something like this. I mean, our polarity for I out, or the direction of current was in this direction. So, but now Ix is minus of I out because the direction is reversed. So, if I substitute Ix as minus of I out, I will get I in here as beta times AI times, I in will be equal to beta times Ix. It was previously, I in was minus of beta times I out. So if I'm substituting I out as minus Ix, I'll get I in as beta times Ix. So substitute it in this expression in the current source, the control current source expression here. Instead of I in, I'm going to substitute it with beta times Ix. So now the total current entering the resistance R out is simply 1 plus AI times beta into Ix. Okay, so if I know the current through R out, I'll know the voltage across R out, that's going to be Vx. So from that we found out the output resistance, the closed loop output resistance to be R out into 1 plus A beta. You can follow an exactly similar procedure for a transconductance amplifier as well. So generally the confusion arose when we were discussing amplifiers which had current as the output. When you had current as the output, you have to connect your feedback network in series with the output load element. Only when you do that, the entire current will flow into your feedback network. Okay, so based on that, then we can, I already derived this expression, you can go through that and we can show very easily, even in a transconductance amplifier, the output resistance will increase by a factor of 1 plus GM into beta in this case. So here again, the assumption here is this, the feedback network is an ideal feedback network, which means it's not loading your amplifier. So since it is sensing all the current, if it wants to sense all the current fully, okay, so then what should be the input impedance, ideal input impedance of the feedback network seen at the output port, or the impedance seen at this point will be 0 again. That's it. So this is something we should be aware of. Uh, that's it. This is the point I wanted to clarify in the previous lecture. So there was a small confusion because if you want to measure, the feedback network should normally be connected in such a way, it should normally be in series with your output load resistance. So when I say load resistance, this is the two terminal device to which you are delivering some finite power to. Okay, so it can be an audio amplifier, or this probably something that most of you are used to is a water heater. If you see, it's a simple two terminal resistor, and you just pass some current through it and it heats the coil, and that in turn heats water. So that also, water heater coil can also be modeled with a resistive load, as a resistive load. So you should connect your feedback network in series with it so that it can sample all the current and generate a feedback in return to that. So this mechanism is what we call sense and return. So based on that, we are going to develop a nomenclature, so with which we can refer to different feedback topologies with those names. So there are three general naming conventions. We will discuss what are all the three naming conventions, and the naming conventions make intuitive sense as well. So before we understand the naming convention, so before we understand the naming convention, we should understand in a feedback system, what is actually happening is that the feedback network here, as opposed to an open loop amplifier, where you feed an input signal to an amplifier, and the output signal will be proportional to the input signal of interest. Okay, the output signal, it can be voltage or current, it will be proportional to the input signal. But in case of a feedback system, a part of the output is taken by a feedback network. The word that I'm going to use is sense. It is sensed or sampled and then fed back or returned back to the input. Okay, so this is called sense and return. You are sensing the output and returning it back to the input. So how we sense the output, there are different words for it. Okay, so for example, if let's say the quantity of interest is voltage, you want to sense the voltage. How should you connect your feedback network? You have to remember, you have to sense all the output voltage. So you have a device, you want to sense the whole voltage. So can I say I'll just have to connect the feedback network in parallel to it? If I connect the feedback network in parallel, then I can sense all the voltage. Okay, so that's called a shunt connection. So if I want to sense voltage, if I want to sense voltage, then at the output terminal, I can either have to connect it in shunt. So that's called, when you're connecting it in parallel, it's called shunt. If you want to sense current, on the other hand, if you want to sense the output current, then you have to connect your feedback network in series with the output. So that's called series connection. So if the feedback network, okay, and the port or whatever, the input port or the output port carry the same current, okay, see, I can sense and feedback. That operation, I'm going to call it, I have connected the feedback network in series connection. If the current at the port of interest, let's say I'm talking about the output port, and the feedback network should be the same, then it's called a series connection. If the voltage is same, then it's called a shunt connection. Okay, the connection can be both at the input or at the output. So if you look at the input here, the connection, the current flowing through the actual amplifier and the feedback network is same. So what kind of a connection is this at the input port? Is it a series or a shunt connection? The current is same in both. So what kind of a connection is it? It's a series connection. That's it. So if you understood these 2 points, then nomenclature is pretty trivial to understand. So any general feedback system can be represented by this model. You have a quantity which is being sensed or sampled, and then it's being returned back. So there is a sense and return mechanism that happens in negative feedback amplifiers. Using this sense and return mechanism, we will now apply a naming convention. Now let's say I'm going to sense a voltage at the output. I'm going to sense a voltage at the output, then I have to connect it in parallel. The feedback network has to be connected in parallel with it. So if I want to sense voltage at the output, if I want to sense voltage at the output, then I have to do a shunt connection. At the output, it has to be a shunt connection because you have to connect it in parallel so you can sample all the voltage. So it's a shunt connection at the output. Now, on the other hand, if I want to sense current at the output, remember I already discussed, if I want to sense current at the output, the current through the feedback network and the amplifier should be same. And that is possible only if you connected it in series. So if I want to sense the current at the output, if I want to sense current, then you have to have a series connection. If I want to sense current, you need to have a series connection. If I want to sense voltage, you need to have a shunt connection. Now let's look at the input, the return path or the input port. I want to return voltage back. Remember, I have to return my voltage back, so I can't connect it in parallel. If I have to return voltage, I have to connect it in series, right? Because if I connect it in parallel, then I'm trying to enforce two voltages at the same node. That's not possible. You will be violating Kirchhoff's voltage law. Therefore, if I want to return voltage, if I'm returning voltage back, then the feedback network should be connected in series with the input port. Only then you can say that you're returning the voltage back. So here I've shown voltage amplifier as voltage as an input. Vin is the input to the amplifier. Vf is the feedback voltage. So the input to the amplifier is given by Vs is your signal voltage minus Vf. And we already discussed, because we are connecting it in series with it, the same current will flow through both the ports. So if I want to return voltage, remember here, I'm returning voltage. If I want to return voltage back, the connection has to be a series connection. It cannot be shunt, because if it is shunt, then I'll be violating Kirchhoff's voltage law, right? If let's say I directly take the feedback network and connect it in shunt, I can't do that because it's delivering a voltage at this point. Okay, if I directly short it, then I'm trying to enforce voltage at that point. That's not possible. I just want to add it in series with the input voltage. So I'm connecting it this way. So if voltage is being returned at the input port, it has to be a series connection. Similarly, if the return quantity is current, if I'm going to return current back, then we said if I want to return current, all you need to do is just connect the two wires together. So it has to be connected in shunt or in parallel, right? If I want to return current back, it has to be connected in shunt. So if the quantity of return, the quantity being returned back is current, then you need to have a shunt connection. So remember, the distinction has to be clear. If I want to sense current, what should be the connection I should be employing? I remember I'm saying sense, I'm sensing the current. It has to be in series because you have to take the same current into the feedback network. But if I want to feedback or return current, then I have to connect it in shunt. Right? I need to add the two currents, right? Returning circuit, this return circuit should add the currents. And that will be possible if I directly connect them in parallel. If I have two currents, say I1 and I2, and if I connect the two currents in parallel, then the net current will be the sum of the two currents. Depending on polarity, it will be sum or difference. But if I want to add or subtract two voltages, I have to connect them in series. So this is V1, this is V2. If I want to add the two voltages or subtract the two voltages, I have to connect them in series. If I want to subtract, I can just reverse the polarity and connect. So this is V2, this is V1. So I have to connect them in series. So that's what you have to keep in mind for return. So if I want to return the quantity, I'm trying to add the feedback voltage to the input voltage. So it has to be in series. So I've shown a simple example here, how it is done in series. If I want to return the current back, I have to connect them in parallel or shunt connection. That's it. So if you understood all these four terminologies, then the nomenclature is pretty simple. The first and the simplest nomenclature is what we call return and sense. The first nomenclature tells you about the return and sense mechanisms in the feedback amplifier. So first you mention what is the return path, return mechanism, or you mention the connection, whether it's a shunt or series connection at the return path. Then in the second, you mention the second part of the naming, you mention the sense mechanism. What mechanism are you using to sense it, whether it's a shunt connection or series connection. So this is the first naming convention where we use the return and sense mechanism. Return first, sense later. The other naming convention uses return mechanism but sense quantity. Okay, for sensing, I'm going to use for sensing, I'm going to use the quantity of interest. For return, I'm going to use the mechanism, the mechanism or the connection. So return here will be either series or shunt, and the sense terminology here will be a quantity which is its quantity, so it will be either voltage or current. We won't mention the mechanism, but we'll directly mention the quantity itself. The third convention, naming convention, this is again used in some textbooks, but the first two are more popularly used naming conventions, where you mention return and sense mechanism. The other naming convention is return mechanism and sense quantity. Okay. So yeah, I think there is a connectivity issue. Just a minute. Yeah. Yeah. The third mechanism is the third naming convention is purely using the quantities itself. But when we are using the quantities, the quantities for sensing, when we are using this, when we are talking about quantities, we talk about the return sense first and the return quantity. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. The second quantity that we will be using is sense. The third naming convention that we will be using is sense quantity and return quantity. So here we will not mention the mechanism, but rather we will just mention the quantity of interest. So this is little bit counter. I mean the convention. This third convention If you see the first two conventions, we mentioned the return mechanism first and then the sense quantity or mechanism next. But in the third naming convention, we mentioned the sensing quantity, the quantity being sensed, which is the output quantity of interest, and the return quantity, which is generally the input quantity of interest. So that's it. These are the three naming conventions. Based on this, we'll now try to name the different amplifier topologies. So shown here is a voltage input, voltage output feedback system or a feedback amplifier. So now can you tell me using return and sense mechanism, using the first naming convention, which is return and sense mechanism, what should be the name of this feedback amplifier? So look at the input first. You're returning voltage. If you're returning voltage, what is the return mechanism? You're returning voltage back. So it has to be a series. So this is a series mechanism, right? You're returning voltage back. So the return mechanism here is a series mechanism. Now, what is the sense mechanism? At the output, you are sensing voltage here because output quantity is voltage, it is sensing voltage. So, what is the sense mechanism here? What will be the connection that you'll have to apply this output? Shunt. So, this feedback amplifier is also called a series shunt feedback amplifier. So, this amplifier is also called as a series shunt. So, series is the return quantity, it's voltage being returned, so it has to be returned, and this connection has to be series. So, it is series shunt voltage feedback amplifier. The second naming convention uses return mechanism first and sense quantity next. Return mechanism we just saw in the previous example itself, it is series. You're returning voltage back, so the connection has to be a series connection. And what is the sensing quantity of interest? What am I sensing here? Voltage. So this can also be written as series voltage feedback. Okay, so this is also called series voltage feedback or series shunt feedback with the first naming mechanism. The third and the final naming convention is sense and return. What am I sensing? I'm sensing voltage. What am I returning? I'm returning voltage. So this is a voltage feedback. Voltage feedback amplifier. That's it. This is the naming convention for this. Now we'll look at current amplifier. So this is current input, current output. So can you tell me, based on return and sense mechanism, I am at the at the input, I'm returning current back because it's returning current back. If it's returning current, what is the connection at the input? It's a shunt connection at the input. At the input, it is a shunt connection. At the output, what are you sensing? You're sensing current. If you're sensing current at the output, you have to connect it in series, right? The feedback network has to be in series. So it is a series connection at the output. So it's a shunt series feedback amplifier. It's a feedback amplifier, but it's a shunt series feedback amplifier. Using the second naming convention, return mechanism is a shunt, which we discussed in the previous example. It's a current being returned, so it's a shunt connection. And what is the sense quantity? The quantity that's being sensed is current. So it's also called shunt current feedback. So this is also called as a shunt current feedback amplifier. The third naming convention is sense and return quantity. What is being sensed? Current. What is being returned? Current. So it's a current feedback amplifier. So it's a current feedback amplifier. Current is being sensed and current is being returned. So therefore it's a current feedback amplifier. Finally, we have the third amplifier configuration. This is a transconductance amplifier. So voltage is input, current is at the output. Voltage input, current at the output. So first, return. You are returning voltage as an input. So at the input port, what is the connection? Is it a series or shunt connection? It's a series. You are returning voltage, so it's a series connection. At the output, you are sensing current. So what is the connection at the output? You are sensing current it's again series. So this is a series feedback. So this is a series feedback amplifier. This here is a series feedback amplifier. Now we'll use the other naming convention here. The return mechanism here is again series. That's the same as the previous example. But the sense quantity of interest, which is the output quantity which we are sensing, is current. So this is a series current feedback. Using the second naming convention, this is a series current feedback amplifier. And the third naming convention is your sensing quantity. What are you sensing? You're sensing current and you're returning back voltage because voltage is the input. So it's a current voltage feedback amplifier. It's a current voltage feedback amplifier. So that's it. It's a very trivial thing. If you follow this naming convention, it's quite trivial. The fourth and the final amplifier is your current input voltage output or a trans impedance amplifier. So by now I think you know how to name them. So can you tell me what will be at the output port? You are sensing voltage and returning current. So if you're returning current, what is the return mechanism? It's a current return connection. What should be the connection? Shunt. At the returning is shunt. And what is the sensing? You're sensing voltage here. Since you're sensing voltage, it has to be shunt. So it's a shunt feedback amplifier. Now using the second naming convention, you're returning current voltage. You're returning current. So it's a shunt connection at the input. And the sense quantity here is voltage. You are sensing voltage, so it is shunt voltage feedback. It's a shunt voltage feedback amplifier. The third mechanism, the third naming convention is sense and return quantity. You are sensing voltage and returning it as current, so it is also called voltage current feedback. Okay, so these are the three naming conventions, and we saw how to name the four different amplifier topologies using their return and sense mechanisms and quantities. So I'll stop at this part of the lecture at this point, and the next half we'll discuss about voltage and current additions and subtractions.